Section 1. You will hear a man calling National Park Information Center. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 10. Now listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 10. Good morning, National Park Information Center. How can I help you today?
Hello, I'm interested in joining one of your guided hiking trips. I've been trying to get into better shape, and I think this would really help me improve my fitness.
That's great to hear. We have several options, but the most popular one is a one-day trip. It runs from early morning until late afternoon.
Perfect. A full day sounds ideal. And what exactly is covered in the price?
The fee includes all the equipment you'll need, like walking poles and safety gear, as well as the services of a trained guide. You'll need to bring your own food and drinks.
All right. And is there any advice on what to wear?
Yes, we strongly recommend bringing strong walking shoes. The trails can be uneven, and sturdy footwear makes a big difference.
Got it. I'd like to go ahead and make a booking.
Of course. Let me fill in the form. First, can I take your full name?
Yes, it's Mark Johnson.
Thank you. And a contact number, please?
Sure, my mobile is 555-2398.
Great. And what date would you like to book the trip for?
The 12th of June, if that's available.
Yes, that's fine. And where would you like to be picked up?
At the City Central Station, please.
No problem. Do you have any special requirements we should know about?
Yes, I'd like a vegetarian meal included, if possible.
We can arrange that. Finally, the total cost for one participant will be $45.
Great. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. We'll send a confirmation email shortly. Now you have some time to check your answers. Section 2. You will hear a local council officer giving information about a new recycling program in the town. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 15. Now listen carefully and answer questions 11 to 15.
Good morning everyone, and thank you for coming to this short talk about the town's new recycling program. The scheme has been designed to make waste management easier and more environmentally friendly. First of all, the program will officially begin on July 1st. From that date onwards, all residents will be expected to follow the new guidelines. To help you, each household will receive a set of 3 bins. These will be clearly labeled for paper, plastics, and glass. Collection will be free of charge, and will take place every 2 weeks, on the same day as your usual rubbish service. Please make sure that you place your glass in the container marked with the color green. This avoids confusion and ensures the material can be properly recycled. And if you would like more information about the program, you can visit the Council's official website, where full details and frequently asked questions are listed.
Now you have some time to look at questions 16 to 20. Now, listen carefully and answer questions 16 to 20.
Now, let me highlight some important points about how the scheme will operate. The recycling program was introduced mainly to meet our town's environmental goals. We want to reduce the amount of waste going into landfills and cut down on pollution. But remember, if you put rubbish in the wrong bin, it will simply not be collected. The collection team will leave a note, and you will need to sort it out before the next pickup. Also, please do not place food waste in any recycling bin. Food should go in your regular rubbish container, or in a compost bin if you have one. For elderly residents who may struggle to move their containers, we've arranged an extra service. Staff can provide home collection help by carrying the bins to the street. Finally, the entire community will benefit. We expect the streets and parks to become much cleaner as a result of less litter and better waste management. That concludes the overview. Thank you for your cooperation, and we look forward to working together for a greener town.
Now you have some time to check your answers. Section 3. You will hear two students discussing an assignment with their tutor. First, you have some time to look at questions 21 to 24. Now listen carefully and answer questions 21 to 24.
All right, let's talk about your group assignment. Could you remind me what the main focus is?
Yes, we decided to look at the benefits of renewable energy sources, especially how they can help reduce pollution and provide sustainable power.
That's a strong choice. Now, I did have one concern. When I read your first draft, it seemed to lack clear structure. You had plenty of information, but it wasn't always easy to follow the order of ideas.
Yes, we noticed that too. We're planning to reorganize the sections so that it flows better.
Good. Now, why did you focus on solar and wind energy in particular?
Mainly because we found the most research material about them. There were lots of recent studies and reports we could use.
That makes sense. For the conclusion, I'd suggest you don't just summarize. Instead, add a comparison of different types of energy, so readers can see how renewables stand against fossil fuels.
That's a good idea. We'll include that.
Now you have some time to look at questions 25 to 30. Now listen carefully and answer questions 25 to 30.
Let me also say, I was impressed by several things in your work. First, the case studies you chose were very relevant. Also, the interview with the engineer gave your assignment a practical side. And I liked how you explained key terms clearly. Definitions like grid stability and storage capacity were very well done.
Thanks. We tried to make it easy to understand.
Exactly. And don't forget to highlight the data you used. The statistics really supported your arguments well.
We gathered most of that from academic journals. They were very detailed, although one difficulty was that some articles were outdated. A few were from more than 10 years ago.
Yes, you'll want to stick with the most recent ones where possible.
For the presentation, we plan to recommend more investment in renewable infrastructure, like solar farms and wind turbines.
Excellent. That should make for a very persuasive conclusion.
Now you have some time to check your answers. Section 4. You will hear a university lecture about the history of space exploration. First, you have some time to look at questions 31 to 40. Now listen carefully and answer questions 31 to 40.
Good morning, everyone. Today we'll be looking at the history of space exploration, tracing its development from the mid-20th century up to the present. The story begins in 1957, when the Soviet Union launched the first artificial satellite. This marked the true beginning of the space age. Only a few years later, in 1961, the world witnessed another milestone, the first human space flight, achieved by Yuri Gagarin. These early programs were not just scientific ventures, they were also shaped by political rivalry, as the United States and the Soviet Union competed for dominance. The next great achievement came in 1969, when astronauts from the Apollo mission first set foot on the Moon. This event captured global attention, as the landing was broadcast live on television, allowing millions to watch history unfold. Following the Moon landings, attention turned to longer stays in orbit. In 1971, the Soviet Union launched the first long-term space station, known as Salyut-1. Decades later, cooperation replaced competition, and the International Space Station became a symbol of international partnership, involving multiple nations working together. In more recent years, exploration has relied heavily on robotic missions. Unmanned probes have been sent to study Mars and other planets, gathering valuable data. Meanwhile, technological progress has been driven by the development of reusable rockets, which have significantly reduced the costs of launching payloads into orbit. Looking ahead, space agencies and private companies share an ambitious vision, establishing a permanent colony on Mars. This would represent the next giant leap in humanity's journey beyond Earth.
Now you have some time to check your answers.